everyone and welcome to Tuesday's spelling and handwriting video. Let's get started.
So this week we are continuing to look at our shun suffix that sounds like sh, shun. We have looked at the way that this suffix can be spelt with the letters S-I-O-N, like in the word explosion. We have looked at the way this suffix can be spelt with S-S-I-O-N, like in the word discussion. And we have looked at the way that this suffix can be spelt with the letters C-I-A-N, like in musician. Yesterday, Miss Bridgewater showed you the rules for when the suffix can be spelt with T-I-O-N, like in the word invent, that becomes invention. You should be really familiar with the S-I-O-N, S-S-I-O-N, and C-I-N suffixes. Let's have a quick recap of the T-I-O-N suffix together now. So this week we are going to be looking at the final shun suffix spelled T-I-O-N. We have a couple of rules for this suffix. The first rule is when the root word ends with T, you just add the suffix I-O-N to become T-I-O-N, like in the word invent becomes invention. You can see that invent ends in a T, then you just add I-O-N. For the second rule, when the root word ends with T-E, you drop the E, then add I-O-N to become T-I-O-N. Like in complete, you just drop the E and add I-O-N to become completion. So those are our two important rules for this week's spellings. Okay, before we look at our spelling words for this week, we're going to play a quick matching game with the words to the correct suffix. So this is just to check our knowledge of all the different shun suffixes that we have learnt about so far. So looking at the words here in black, politics, music, complete, expand, tense, explode, invent, express and permit, see if you can work out which is the correct suffix to be applied to that word. Think carefully back to all the different rules we have learnt over the last few weeks to do with the shun suffix. Pause the video now and write out the word with the correct suffix. Off you go. Let's do a quick check together. So, the words that needed the S-I-O-N suffix were expand, tense and explode. They become expansion, tension and explosion. The words that needed the S-S-I-O-N suffix were expression and permission. Express and permit need that S-S-I-O-N added on the end. The words that needed the C-I-A-N shun suffix were politics, which becomes politician, and music, which becomes musician. You might remember that those C-I-A-N suffixes are to do with different professions. And this week, our T-I-O-N suffix, we needed invent, which becomes invention. You just add that I-O-N as it ends in T. And complete becomes completion, which ends in T-E. So you take off the E and add I-O-N, so it ends with T-I-O-N. So 5, 7 and 9 spellers, here are your spelling words for this week that you should have received on parent mail and can see on your spelling shed for this week. We've got invention, injection, action, selection, completion, hesitation, nomination, migration and stagnation. As you can see, they all end in the T-I-O-N suffix. Have a go at saying, shouting, clapping your words and seeing if you can put them in a sentence as well. Have a go at see if you can come up with any actions for some of your spelling words. Remember, if you are unsure of the meaning, you can use an online dictionary or a dictionary in your house to look it up. You might also need to do that to put it in a sentence. Remember, you might need to look for the root word in the dictionary. So instead of invention, you might need to look for invent. Pause the video and have a go at that now. Okay, phonics spellers, here are your spelling words for this week. You have got some tricky words this week. They are words that cannot be sounded out, so you just have to remember how to read them and how to spell them. These words are, have, some, come and little. Those are your 5 phonics spellings for this week. Have a go at saying, shouting, clapping, and putting each of these words into a sentence now. Pause the video. Off you go, phonics spellers. After you've had a go at that, phonics spellers, have a look at this story called Rob the Robot at the Farm. Within this story, your tricky words for this week are hidden. So I want you to have a go at reading the story, each section of it, and looking for your tricky word spellings within the story. How many times can you find them? Pause the video and have a go at that, phonics spellers. Now we are familiar with our spelling words this week, let's get going with our main activity for today. Today we are going to play another game of blankety blank. So all you need is a piece of paper or a whiteboard and a pen or pencil to write with. Pause the video to get that now, and then we'll get playing. Okay, hopefully we should be familiar with the rules of blankety blank now, but in case you're not, we'll quickly recap. I'm going to read you a sentence. The black sentence is for the 5, 7 and 9 spellers. The red sentence is for the phonics spellers. Here are your spelling words up here. I'm going to read the sentence, and on your piece of paper you need to write down the spelling word that you think fits in the blank. But I'm only going to give you about 10 seconds, so you need to be super quick. Okay, are you ready? The first sentence is 5, 7 and 9 spellers. The new school building was nearing blank. The new school building was nearing blank. What word do you think goes in that blank? Write it down now. And for the phonics spellers, my blank brother is in nursery. My blank brother is in nursery. What word goes in that blank? Write it down now. Okay, let's check together. So the first sentence, the new school building was nearing completion, was the blank. And for the phonics sentence, it was little. My little brother is in nursery. Are you ready for the next one? The scientist was ready to reveal his new blank to the world. And the phonics sentence, I have blank sweets in my pocket. What do you think the blanks are in those sentences? Write the word down now. Off you go. Okay, that's super quick. Let's do a quick check together now. The first sentence was invention. The scientist was ready to reveal his new invention to the world. And the phonics sentence was I have some sweets in my pocket. Make sure you're being really careful about how you spell these words. Let's go on to the next one now. Are you ready? I was worried about having an blank from the doctor. I was worried about having a blank from the doctor. And the phonics sentence there, blank, 30 children in my class. Write down what you think the blank is for those sentences now. Off you go. Okay, let's do a quick check together. I was worried about having an injection from the doctor. So the first blank was injection, and for the phonics spellers it was R. There are 30 children in my class. Are you ready for the next one? There was a large blank of sweets on sale. There was a large blank of sweets on sale. And phonics spellers, will you blank with me to the park? Asked Tom. Will you blank with me to the park? Asked Tom. Write down the blank word now. Let's check together. So the first sentence was selection. There was a large selection of sweets on sale. And the phonics sentence was, will you come with me to the park? Asked Tom. So the blank words were selection and come. Are you getting the spellings correct, everybody? Let's go on to the next one. Okay, we've got a bit of a trickier one here for the 5, 7 and 9 spellers because it's got 2 blanks in. After months of blank, the 2 armies marched into blank. What do you think those 2 blanks are? After months of blank, the 2 armies marched into blank. And the phonics spellers, it's I blank, 2 dogs and 1 pet cat. I blank, 2 dogs and 1 pet cat. What do you think the blank words are? Let's check together. So, after months of hesitation, the 2 armies marched into action. So the 2 blanks were hesitation and action. Well done if you got that right, because that was a tricky one. And for the phonics spellers, it's I have 2 dogs and 1 pet cat. So have was the blank there. Well done to the phonics and the 5 spellers, 7 and 9 spellers. Carry on for the next questions. 3 children each received a blank for the school council. What do you think that blank word is? Write it down, 7 and 9 spellers. Did you get it? Let's check together. So the blank for that sentence was nomination. 3 children each received a nomination for the school council. Okay, 7 spellers, that's you done too. 9 spellers, we've got 2 more blanks to find. The birds are currently starting their blank to the south. What do you think that blank is? The birds are currently starting their blank to the south. Write it down now. You've got 10 seconds. Let's check that one together. It was migration. The birds are currently starting their migration to the south. Okay, we've got 1 more to go, everybody. Okay, our final sentence here, so the final blank. Blank of the water means the river plants might die. Blank of the water means the river plants might die. What do you think that blank is, 9 spellers? Write it down now. Off you go. Okay, that blank was stagnation. So stagnation of the water means the river plants might die. Well done, everybody. That is the end of blankety blank. I hope you did well today. Keep practicing your spellings.
Okay, so now it's time for the handwriting part of our lesson. Yesterday with Miss Bridgewater, you had to go at position and separation. So we're going to have a go at 2 more words from the year 3 and 4 word list today. We're going to start with mention. So you need your pen, you need your handwriting lines if you've got them, or just your lined paper. So mention, I'm going to start on these lines here. I'm going to start with my M. I go down, up and over, and over. I'm going to join into my E, into my N. I go up, down, back up again and over. Join into my T, that doesn't go all the way to the top. Join into my I, join into my O, back on itself, and then into the N, joining from the top. Then we need to go back and cross the T on the line and dot the I. So my pen didn't come off the page the whole time I was joining. So that is mention. Pause the video now and write a whole line of mention, making sure you're joining each letter together, and each letter is the same size apart from the T that goes just above. Off you go. Okay, now I'm going to have a go at the word complete, which is on your year 3 or 4 word list. So complete, we start with our curly C, we join into our O, join into our M, up, down, over, back up again and over, and then we join into our P, which goes goes all the way down and around again, and then into our L, and then it has an E, a T, and an E. So again, I didn't take off my pen for the whole time. Now I need to go back and just cross my T, C-O-N-P-L-E-T-E. Now, some of you might notice that this ends with a T-E. So what we can do with this word to add the shun suffix to it is to make it completion. And I know if it ends with a T-E, I need to take off the E and add I-O-N. So let's have a go at writing that as well. So we've got complete, which can become completion. So my C-O-N-P all the way down to the bottom, back up and round, join into my L-E-T, and now I need my I-O-N suffix, I-O-N, and I can go back and cross the T and dot the I, so we took off the E and added I-O-N. So I want you to pause the video now and have a go at writing a whole line of complete and a whole line of completion. Off you go, Year 4. Okay, that's the end of our spelling and handwriting for Tuesday. See you all soon. Bye-bye.